Got a new windshield banner. Oh, hey there, fella. How you doing? Tail wagger? Oh, yeah. Oh, upside down smiles? So my nephew's here today with his Cavalier, and we worked on this car previously before. We tinted the taillights, and we put a stereo in it and a subwoofer in the trunk. So he wants to work on the car again. He wants to put winter wheels on it, and his muffler hanger broke. So, and he also wants to make the car loud. So we used to have emissions tests here in Ontario, and we don't have them anymore. And they just threw the emissions test out, which is kind of handy, I guess, for hot rods and stuff. And they say loud pipes save lives. Like a motorcycle, you can't see it in a blind spot, but sometimes you can hear it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna delete the muffler because he wants the car to be a little louder. The hanger's broken. So yeah, and we're gonna put some wheels on it as well. Oh, sounds like he dropped it already. So there's a hanger here in front of the rear axle, and we cut it, or we cut the pipe there. We're gonna keep the hanger, and that's gonna be the new exit. Normally it goes over the rear axle, and the muffler is behind the rear axle. So he just had it wired up because his hanger was broke. So cut the pipe behind the hanger here, and then we can still have the hanger holding the system up, and it should come out of there now. Okay?
Yeah, I'm on time.
You probably have to lift it over the rear axle. Watch out for any brake lines or fuel lines or anything like that. Ta-da! Friggin' right. She gone. Well, that's just another excuse to get rid of it, I guess, eh? Huh, that's weird. It's almost perfectly round hole. So we had a jack stand here supporting the pipe. I guess this is going to be the new exit now. This car was not loud by any means. It was relatively quiet. So I'm interested to see what it sounds like now. Maybe we'll fire it up and see how she sounds now. Ta-da! One broken muffler hanger. Okay, fire it up. What do you think about that?
Fucking right.
Oh my goodness. That don't look too good. So there was another broken hanger here, and this is where the new exit is. That could be welded, or you can put a clamp on hanger, but we just put a muffler clamp on the original hanger. And the heat shield is hanging a little bit too, so we're going to put that back up. We're going to remove these boring 14-inch wheels. Are those 14s?
Yeah.
And we're going to put some 16-inch Z24 Cavalier wheels on. And you should be able to jack up both wheels on that side from that position.
Well, I have another jack here.
Go ahead and jack it up, see what happens. That's pretty close to the balance point. Yeah, that's pretty good. Both wheels are coming up. Keep going, a little more.
Oh, we gotta take the wheel, the nuts off.
Yeah, that's okay. The impact will spin them off, even if it's in the air. Yeah, I think we'll get both wheels. And we'll have to use a jack stand so people don't, because safety is important. Man, she looks good and she sounds good. Oh my goodness. I tell you, the wheels look good, a lot better than the old wheels.
That feels nice and smooth.
Yeah. So are you gonna, you have to pretend you're a new man when you pick up your girlfriend. New man with a new car.
Yeah.
Alright bro, hit me up.
I'll stop in tomorrow when I'm done.
Yeah.
I won't have a way to get a hold of you, so if you're here.
Alright guy, see ya.
Alright, man.
Got a new windshield banner. It's definitely the biggest one I've ever had made, but I got 3 of them made up. And I got some of these stickers made up here. So I stuck one on the ashtray. Why not? And I put those pedals on. So somebody gifted me the pedals, and the same person that gave me the floor mats, they just gave them to me for a gift. So I'm very grateful because they're pretty awesome. They turned out pretty good, and they're very simple, but they're also very sturdy the way they clamp onto the existing pedal. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Painted the valve cover. Only one. And then I ran out of paint. This is the same paint that I used on the alternator bracket. It's called Wrinkle Plus, VHT Wrinkle Plus. So it has kind of like a wrinkly finish to it. And I kind of like it. It's good at hiding imperfections and stuff. And it's kind of, it's like, I don't know, like a satin. And it's high temperature and chemical resistant and all that good stuff. So I had the valve cover off, or took the valve cover off, and I was going to do some inspecting. Look how clean it is inside. Look at the internals. They are super clean. Wow. That's like, I never expected it to be that clean inside for a junkyard motor. But wow. Yeah. This engine had 180,000 kilometers on it. So I guess that's not bad. And I changed the oil. Or yeah, I had new oil and filter in it, but I don't see any carbon deposits like anywhere at all. So I painted the valve cover while I had it off. That's the reason why I bought this wrinkle finish paint, this high temperature paint. I bought it specifically for the valve covers. And I think the block is the same high temperature black wrinkle finish. You can't really see the block, but I painted it Chevy orange, and then I decided to go black. So this will be a lot nicer because the valve covers were kind of, I don't know, they were kind of a little bit dirty and corroded, and like just used old valve covers. I think this one's even worse, passenger side. So yeah, I spent a little bit of time with a wire brush and parts brush and degreaser, and I even used a knife to get some of the corrosion. I even scraped it with a knife. But yeah, it cleaned up. Took a while, but it did clean up. The inside, I degreased it a little bit, but I didn't spend any time inside. The gasket looks perfectly reusable, so I'll probably reuse it. One weird thing that I noticed, all of the valves are closed. All of them are closed. None of them are rocking. I can get a little bit of wiggle room. I can wiggle this one a little bit. I can wiggle this one a little bit. There's no slop, and I can't push down the push rod. But there's just a little bit of wiggle in all of them. The only one that I didn't get any wiggle on was this front exhaust one here. It seems to be on the cam, but I'm surprised that there's only one. So I got a little bit of wiggle room like on all of them except for that one. So I think all the lifters are partially collapsed because there's no oil pressure. They're hydraulic lifters. But some people are saying, I kind of questioned that. I was like, why are they all closed? And I mentioned the hydraulic and the oil, and the one guy said, yeah, they might be draining back because there's no oil pressure when it's not running, or if it hasn't ran in a while. I had it running last night. But there's something going on here, and it seems to run okay. I did a load test last night and a little burnout, but it hesitates near the wide open throttle. Like when you try to get into the higher RPMs, there's some hesitation, and something's not 100%, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it's something to do with the oil. Maybe the oil I have is too thick, or I didn't put 5W30 in it, even though the cap says 5W30 on it. I think I put 1030 in it, and then I topped it up with like 1540 or something. So, or I topped it up with Lucas or something, I can't remember. I topped it up with something a little bit thicker. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Maybe that's why the starts are, it's been a little bit hard to start lately, and it's been at wide open throttle or at under load near the higher RPMs. It's not running right. So I'm not sure if it's something to do with this, or if they just drained back because they're hydraulic. But it's weird that there's one that's, there's no wiggle in it. It's up on the cam, it's got some pressure on it or something, and all the rest have wiggle room. I don't know what's going on. And when I have the O2 sensors plugged in, I get P0300 random misfire. But when I unplug the O2 sensors and leave it in closed loop, the P0300 disappears, and I have no problems, no problem codes. So I'm running it right now with the O2 sensors unplugged because it runs better and there's no problem codes. But something's not right here. I might have to give it an oil change. Maybe just an oil change. Wouldn't that be something? I was wondering about the coil packs and the grounds because the valve covers are kind of corroded and stuff. So I was going to take them off and clean them up, make sure they're grounding. I can't find any way for them to ground. They have a rubber gasket around the bolt, and they have a rubber gasket on the bottom, and the coil packs bolt here, and they ground to the block. Like spark plug only has one electrode, and it grounds to the block. So they're going to take the shortest route possible. And I can't find how this grounds to the block if it sits on gaskets, the only way I can find it grounds to the block is through the sleeves. There's sleeves there under the bolt, so the bolt might touch the sleeve and then the sleeve might touch the head. That's the only way I can see them grounding, and I guess that's the way they work. So I don't see anything exploded, or I don't see anything major. These are nice and clean in here. They're all doing the same thing, so I think it's more like a common problem, like the oil, or I don't know. I changed the oil pump, or not the oil pump. I changed the oil pan and gasket and the pickup tube. So I don't know, maybe something going on there, maybe. Huh. How fucking sexy I am. Well, you're not in the clamp.
Oh.